This is the West Coast Nationals Championship finale.
Dad, you ready for tonight? Sure. Let's go. Need to get an eagle. We're getting an eagle. Well, right here we have the most famous trophy and most prestigious in all of outlaw kart racing. It's West Coast Nationals Sunday, and we have the Eagles out on display. Later this evening, they're going to be flying to their new homes. 7 different divisions and 7 different winners. Here's the Open Class 1 right here, and what we're going to be chasing this afternoon. 50 laps, $3,000 on the line, and we're going to be leading the field to green from the pole. A features are about to begin, and we have a full track farm after running all the lower mains. Track was getting really hard, starting to get abrasive, super slick, and now they're going to make it to where it kind of restarts that process of being fast and then, burning off and starting to, kind of change as all the races go. Had the tractor out, they're working down there on that end, they're about to drive it off, and then now the water is being added. A process like this, as I mentioned, you go out there, the material, the surface, it's very hard. They till it, and turn it over, kind of brings the dirt back, then you throw some water on top of it and pack it back down, and it kind of gives it a little bit of extra life. Buys you some time, so then the racetrack isn't taking rubber and really, really hard on tires. Kind of allows it, like I said, to give it that changing process, which is important, usually adds character to a race because it makes it much more difficult to win. You're not just running on the same thing for 30 laps. So it is almost showtime. We got our last main event on the track before us, and then we're gonna have most likely a full rework, tons of track prep before our 50 lapper. And the good part is, just being honest with you guys right now, I don't really feel nervous. I just feel ready to rise to the occasion. I've been in many West Coast Nationals A-main events. I've been in many big races in my life, and I feel like it has only gotten easier for me to approach them, feel prepared, be ready to take on the challenge. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. We have less than an hour, and we'll be green flag for this year's West Coast Nationals.
So as expected, right before our 50 lap A-main event, they got out there with all their equipment and started a full farm on the racing surface. As they worked on the track, we fired up the AT&T to warm the engine and get ready to head to the starting grid.
just a little bit. It was really hot, and then it just like the last like 3 laps, it felt like it was getting ready to, but
you had him covered.
It's all good.
You had him covered.
It's part of the game. Shoot, guys, blew up. 1 lap to go at the biggest kart race in the world. Had him covered, but it's part of the game. That's what we sign up for, man. Stuff like that happens. You know, I need the best engine I can to do my job, and sometimes they expire. Well, the pit area is completely empty. QRC just left our pit stall. I was gonna head inside, but they already shut off all the lights, and they're gonna be working, I'm sure, the next 48 hours to take this racetrack out, as this building is used for other events. And that caps off our Outlaw Kart winter season, the fun we have in the winter. And man, led, let's see, what it'd be, 48 3/4 laps coming to the white flag. Had the field covered and lost an engine. Literally, car was sitting about right here 20 minutes ago before we loaded, and in gear I pushed it with one hand, and it rolled across the staging lane. Just a bad deal, you know. And I don't mean to sound overly positive about it, you know, because I'm obviously, of course, disappointed. But how I look at a situation like this, like, there's literally nothing I could have done different all weekend. Like, everything went our way. We put ourselves in position. We really were never challenged throughout the 50 lapper besides on restarts, and then we checked out. At one point had almost like a half lap on the field, even lapped some cars. And you know, Jimmy Elledge is my guy, my car owner, engine builder, crew chief, like a father in my life, and I'll always stand by his side. You know, he builds me the best engines he can. That's what I told him after the race. I said, Jimmy, you have no reason to feel bad. You know, we're winning and losing as a team. There's nights when I'm gonna make mistakes and things are gonna happen, but like, I need him to build me the best engine that I could possibly have to win the race. And I'll tell you this, that thing rips. That thing hauls the mail, and of course you need it to live, but it almost did. I mean, like I said, it did its job, and I could kind of tell it was starting to go south, and maybe the only thing I could have done differently was try to back off. But I felt like I was starting to slow down, and I knew I had a little bit of a lead, but I just try not to take my eyes off what's in front of me, because once you kind of start worrying about who's behind you, and you know, you start missing your marks. And let's say, for example, there was someone a little closer because I did have a lead, and then I start slowing down because I know my motor's starting to fail, and then I lose the race anyway. You know what I mean? Like, you got to just give it your all. That's how you win races at Red Bluff. That's how you win races at a high level in dirt racing. And you can say this or that, but at the end of the day, you got to give it 110%, and that's what we did all the way until it expired. So again, thank you to Jimmy Elledge. Like I said, he builds the best go-karts. I think, you know, we really showed tonight that we were literally in our own league at the West Coast Nationals. That's something really hard to do, and it was that way all weekend. So big thanks to Factory QRC, all the guys at the shop that, you know, put their hands on these race cars and build them and make them go so good. And then, of course, Burris Racing Tire, Durst Incorporated, Adams Investing, Jet Performance Labs, and, you know, all my great fans. Thank you guys for supporting me. As I said again, like, I don't mean to not sound disappointed. I am, but what do? We literally ran a perfect weekend all the way up until the very end. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing, and that's rare in dirt racing. From our qualifying to our heat races to our qualifier to our shuffle to the restarts and how I ran the curb. I ran the curb really, really well, and there were some good drivers behind me, and like I said, we were in our own league. So wouldn't change a thing, just a Heartbreak City moment. So thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Deuces.